I know, like COVID, we're in a global pandemic, and I know that's like kind of not really thrown a wrench in things, but really like forced people to change the way that they like approach these problems in the city. We were wondering what kind of like specific things, what kind of aspects have you specifically had to change or like think about in a new light now that there's a global pandemic happening?
I think it's kind of interesting for Change Today, Change Tomorrow because we got our start during the pandemic. Like prior to the pandemic, Change Today, Change Tomorrow was really Taylor and Nannie doing a lot of work. That's literally what it was. We had a board, but like it was Taylor and Nannie. Like Nannie was cooking in her kitchen, right? And they were just showing up downtown, handing stuff out to people. We got our like officialness during the pandemic. We took off during the pandemic, so we started with the regulations as they are now. If that makes sense. And so we've kind of not really had to adapt because like that it was our option then. Like so we've figured out like a good way to do in-person stuff while being safe, while like wearing a mask, while making sure things are sanitized because we had no other option. So it's hard to like, there wasn't really a change for us during the pandemic because we started in the heart of it.
Yeah, I feel like if there were any changes, it was along the lines of meeting people's needs, right? Like the cleaning supplies, stuff like that. Like it's that stuff is really expensive. And being able 100%. To include that, those go out and feed. There's sometimes that goes out and feed the West bags if people request it. So we try
and put at least sanitizer in all of our
and masks
in our
stuff like that because it's like if you don't have a mask you can't go into a grocery store
like exactly what Tyler said. I didn't think about that. I was like, we've been doing this stuff during the pandemic, but yes, as far as people's needs, then we've catered our needs to fit pandemic needs. Like I know when we first started, like Taylor was making bleach, like you know, for people because
my first day here was bleach day.
Bleach Bleach Mondays I think it was, and so like we were catering to those needs of the community. I know that we've put together like COVID kits for families sometimes.
Tala is making, she's doing a Clean the West program. We're doing some community assessment for that right now to see where people would need us, would want us to step in and help out with that stuff.
I know you said a lot of stuff is virtual now that we're in the pandemic, but I know a lot of people don't have access to a computer, like regular internet access. How do you guys go about reaching out to those people or those families and communities in situations like that?
I think because we still have a lot of our programming in person, so like coming to mind is our Healthy Change events, right? And we do that at St. George's Gym. So a lot of times, even if we're not having a lot of like traffic into the gym because of COVID or whatever else, we're going outside and being like, hey, we have food. Like you like dropping it in people's cars, take the food. And then also like we're intentional about our marketing. And so for Bless the Block, like we have signs up in West End neighborhoods saying that this is what we have going on so that people can not only like, you know, social media of course is a major marketing tool, but you can see it if you don't have access to those things. And then I think the best thing that we have is our board. Honestly, our board directly reflects our community so that people who are on our board live in the West End. And so then you have a direct like mouth to mouth contact that is like almost forgotten now, but still works very effectively. And so I think that that's how we get a lot of our just as far as people knowing what Change Today, Change Tomorrow does, it's because we have a presence literally in the community because we've been intentional about how we reflect the community.
We do a lot of canvassing. We knock on doors. We talk to people and say like, oh, what did your neighbor say? Like, do they need food too? Like that kind of stuff. We rely on those contacts within the community because people know who is in need and they can help other people too.